Welcome to the Addicted to DVC podcast, a deep dive into all things Disney Vacation Club. We share tips, tricks, and insider info, helping you make the most of your membership. Join us for the latest news, reviews, and interviews with DVC experts and enthusiasts. Whether you're a seasoned DVC member or considering your first contract, this podcast is for you. Now, here are your hosts, Mike Hurley and Gary Arruda.
Welcome to the Addicted to DVC podcast with Mike and Gary. This is episode 27, recorded in the DeFont Leroy Recording Studios in Sarasota, Florida, and Cranston, Rhode Island. I'm your host, Mike in Florida, joined by my cousin and co-host, Gary, up in Rhode Island. Good evening, Gary.
What's going on, Mike?
Not much, buddy.
How you doing?
I'm great.
I think, earlier this week I sent you a message. This might be the first time that the state of Florida has had more snow than the state of Rhode Island at the same time.
Yeah,
Probably
it was
year
crazy.
to date. I mean, we haven't got much snow at all. So I think like Pensacola has gotten more snow in that one storm than the state's gotten all year up here.
Yeah, I was watching weather reports, and they said like their highest snowfall was like 2 inches, 3 inches.
Before
like 60
this,
years ago or something.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They had like 9-10 inches in some places, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Were
Yeah.
you like nervous that it was gonna
No.
dip down to you? It never got even close to
It
that
it
cold
does
where you
not
were.
go south of I-4.
No.
We're protected. Because in order to, if it would have to be that cold, like 32 degrees, it would have to be clear. So as long as there's a cloud cover, it's just going to keep it in the high 30s, low 40s.
Yeah.
Very, 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 very difficult to get snow here. But did you get any? We're joined by Saratoga Joe up. You're north of I-4. What was your Florida weather like up there?
I was in the 30s. First of all, thank you guys for having me on tonight. I was in the 30s, low 40s, just cold, damp, but no snow.
That's
So the
nice.
heat has come on. Florida, Central Florida is the only place where you can have the heat and the air conditioning on the same day.
That's a good point.
I get my updates from my my smart thermostat, and like every December and January is the same. Like you ran your air conditioner for like 32 hours and you ran your heat for 2 hours. It was like both back-to-back Decembers. I'm like, that just shows you how consistent the weather here is. But we did put the heat pump on a couple of times because it got down to like 63, 64 overnight. So
Oh, in the house.
yeah.
It's a little chilly.
That's what I keep my heat at in my house up here. It's different.
Yeah,
Mike-
you keep it at about 52. I almost died that last year.
That's
I
right.
think it got down to about 48 downstairs. I was
It might have.
screaming for extra blankets.
But Mike, you know better than anybody else. The winters in Florida the cold in Florida is much different than the cold up north. It's just it's different. It's damp.
You think so?
It's just different, man. Even like last night, for an example, we had the Rolex 24 at Daytona sports car race, and it goes from 1:30 on Saturday to 1:30 on Sunday. And I was out there till
Dude,
about
you're
4
there,
o'clock
bro.
in the morning and just watching it. But it was like 45, man. It was cold. I mean, because 45 up in Rhode Island, man, you're wearing like a long sleeve t-shirt and jeans. You know what I'm saying? Like down here, I'm wearing woolen hat. I got the electric hand warmers, gloves, multi-layers. It just hits differently. Plus with the wind.
Yeah, I think it's the humidity though. Like you said, it's just damper, and then it feels colder.
Yeah, because we had there was a day when we were walking him, and it was the coldest I've been down here because it was windy. It was about 43 degrees, and it was just spitting rain. And I was like, this is the coldest I've been in 10 years. It was because you have those days where you're even in the 30s, but when the sun's out, you're kind of warm. Like I always wear shorts and like a pullover, especially when the sun's out, because it doesn't matter how technically cold it is. It doesn't hurt as much. But we didn't see the sun for 3 or 4 days. It was awful.
And you could tell it's a bad winter, Mike. And you remember these days when you live back north, when you get the emails from your greenskeeper that the course is closed because of a frost delay. That should never happen. We've been getting a lot of those lately. And I played 9 holes on Saturday morning, and our 7:30 tee time got bumped about 2 hours, which I know for maybe your listeners doesn't mean a big deal, but kind of backs everything up. And you got to wait for that sun to come up and wear off the frost, and you don't want to damage the course. But we've had a lot of frost delays lately, and it's been a really rough Like, listen, I know everybody up north singing here rough. You guys in Florida, but like for Florida, it's been cold. Last year we had a
It's been
great
cold.
winter. Last year, this year's been really cold.
January's been awful,
brutal.
just a terrible January.
So,
but you'll be like 85 in 2 weeks. And
we're already we're already back. We're going to be in the 80s this week. It was absolutely gorgeous. I opened up all the windows. It was 73 or so today. It was gorgeous out. So
68,
we're back.
68 here in Volusia County was beautiful. Got a little run in.
Volusia County.
Yeah, nice. Got a nice run in today, and after it was a little cold last night for the race, today was fantastic. Sun was out, beautiful. Birds are chirping.
The birds were loud. Yeah, they were loud the past day, like couple days as we got our warm up. They were coming out of their hibernation.
They were angry. Well. Yeah, they weren't used to the cold either. You have iguanas falling out of trees and stuff. Isn't that a problem?
We don't even have iguanas here.
We don't have those here.
That's further south, right? Like Miami.
Yeah, we saw one though on the golf course. I think I posted on social. I think it was somebody's pet, and they let it go. Yeah, we saw him. He was hanging out on number 5 as you walk over that bridge, heading toward the fairway. He was just out there chilling.
Interesting. All right, let's get into it, Mike. What do you got for us?
So we have a new topic. Ooh. We're going to talk about which do you prefer. So I'm going to ask you guys some questions related to resorts, food, attractions.
Okay.
And it's basically which one would you prefer?
So you're giving us a couple options, and we got to just make a split-second decision there.
You got to make a split-second decision.
All right.
I haven't studied, so we'll see how I do.
You don't need to study. You're off the
This is like a Rorschach test, Joe.
Yeah,
you just got to go with your first gut instinct.
All right, so I don't want to get to the resorts because that's all of our favorites to talk about, right?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll end with that, right?
So let's start inside the gates.
Ooh, okay.
Which do you prefer? Spaceship Earth or Carousel of Progress?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We're going OG. We got the OG guys on this show, and we're not going to start getting into like Mickey's Runaway versus Tron. No.
Joe, as the guest, I will let you go first if you want, or I'll give you time to think about it.
No, I mean, I've already I took the initial 5 seconds and I've added my final answer. Tough call there. Tie goes to the runner, I would say, on that one. Carousel Progress. The fact that the theme song is my mom's ringtone when she calls me, that's the tiebreaker right there. As much as I love Spaceship Earth, they're both great for naps. There's nothing better than riding Spaceship Earth backwards and taking that little like 5-minute snooze as you're heading back to Earth, and it's just like in the pitch dark. But I love Carousel Progress. I love the family. I love how they've had the updates over the years. There's still lines in that show that I still kind of will throw out in my daily life. You know what I'm saying? There's just nothing better about it. I mean, it's been around forever. It's a fixture of Tomorrowland. I mean, it's a show that my whole family has seen. We could all enjoy it as a family together. And I mean, it's close, right? It's definitely close. There's no wrong answer with this one, but I would say Carousel of Progress. That is the one I prefer. Love that show.
Now, I agree, and I'm going to go with the same answer, Joe. Carousel of Progress. However, a wrinkle here. Which one would be worse to lose? Because Spaceship Earth, as the icon, I know they're not going to take down the geodesic dome, but if you put some BS IP thing in that,
like they were talking about pre-COVID.
Well, it was never going to be IP. They were just going to change it.
Yeah.
Well, it probably wasn't going to be IP. It's going to be like Goofy's Spaceship Earth, but that would take away the whole personality of Epcot if they change that. Magic Kingdom survives. Tomorrowland survives without Carousel of Progress. Future World, or whatever they're calling it, would just cease to exist if they strip Spaceship Earth of what it is. But I'm still going with Carousel of Progress.
But what about this one, Gary? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that Walt had his hand on this. But didn't Walt have a hand in Carousel of Progress? Was it the World's Fair?
Absolutely. World's Fair, yes.
And he had no hand on, that was E-Card Walker and his brother Roy for Epcot, Spaceship Earth. So I would say that like you're losing another part of that, something that Walt had his hands on. And so I think
there's not many left.
There's not many left, man. It's like, so that's why I'm saying, like, even though it would be really tough to lose Spaceship Earth and what's inside of it. Carousel of Progress, that's still that little bit of Walt that's left in Orlando.
Mm-hmm. So. I agree. All right, what do you got next for us, Mike?
What do I have next? Time of season to enjoy your vacation. Are you going in September when there's no kids and they're all back at school and there's very, very small crowds? Or are you going in December to check out all the Christmas decorations? Which do you prefer?
That's tough. I'll go first on this one.
Go.
I'm going to say September because I love the heat. When I'm at Disney, I want to be sweating all day and miserable, and it's still hot in September.
It is hot in September.
It's still very hot. So, that being said, I'm picking September because that's what I feel like when I think of being in Disney. I think of sweating, oppressive heat, going back to the hotel and hanging out in the middle of the day. December, I was just there this December, but that's gotten way too crowded lately. That used to be a slower time, those couple weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas, but now it's just with the party, and now they got the Jollywood thing, and then the Festival of the Holidays. I feel like it's just getting too crowded in December, and it doesn't feel like Disney. It feels awesome. Like, I love the decorations, but it feels like you're on that Disney vacation in September because you're still suffering through the heat, which I like.
Yeah, I would. I guess this is not making great podcast content, but I'm agreeing with Gary on this. Yeah, we're September people. It's something that my wife and I. Well, first of all, we were married in September, so our first anniversary was a really big Disney trip that I really have not been able to duplicate ever since. I kind of pulled all the stops for our first anniversary, and but we like to go all the time in September for that reason. Also because a lot of the kids, especially down here in Florida, they're back at school by August. So we're not getting a lot of the locals during the week. Gary, you are right. It is hot still. And it can be hot in December, but the weather's obviously better in December. However, the Christmas decorations, like my wife and I will go once or twice. We'll go check it out. We see it during marathon weekend. But that's not for us. It's not, even though my wife loves Christmas, that's not a reason for us to plan a trip down in December. We always go in September. You'll catch a little bit of food and wine, I believe. Yeah, food and wine's still going on, right? Yeah. Halloween decorations are up already. So you're catching some of the Halloween parties too. Yeah, I mean, it's still hot. I mean, it's still gonna be in the 90s, but you're still getting summer experience. You can go hang out by the pool. It's still polyester season. No cotton yet. But so that's a 2 golf shirt day. You turn after the front 9, you got to change the shirt, put on a dry one for the back 9. So yeah, we're still going in September.
What time? When do you normally go? Do you go early or mid?
I usually go in the middle of the month. Our anniversary is on the 19th, so we'll try to go in the middle. And honestly, from a DVC side, this is a DVC show. We could stretch our points more in September. It's just that's the bottom line. I mean, you're paying 10 points a night for a studio at Old Key West, 12 at Saratoga, 10 at the Boardwalk, and compared to 14 or more, during the Christmas season. By the way, I just want to, if I could just throw this in real quick about points. This is January 26th that we are recording. My use year is February. So, was running out of time. I had some points left in holding. I will be going tomorrow night, gentlemen, to for one night only to a cabin at Copper Creek. I had some points that were in holding.
Wait, hold on. Whoa. Hold on a second here.
I made a little bit of miscalculation on my.
Is it 20-second or is it 30-second now, parts? Is it 20-second timeout?
30-second timeout, yeah.
30-second timeout.
This is a last minute audible. They were going to expire. So
when was it? Wait, what we could have done a show about this.
This was made this maybe about 4 or 5 days ago. I made the reservation, like a last minute thing. And so it's one night tomorrow, checking in on Monday, checking out Tuesday. It was a lot of points. I had the points that were in holding, and I guess I made a mistake when I thought something happened, man, where they didn't deduct the points from my holding for marathon weekend, and they were just sitting there. And I'm like, took it out of the. So I'm like, I got to use these. And the only thing that was available was a cabin at Copper Creek. So
poor you.
Yeah, we're going one night. So we have some friends. Our friends Brittany and Justin live in Safety Harbor, Tampa area, and they both work in the same industry as my wife. So they were in town for the sports car race at Daytona, and so they're going to work their way back on tomorrow. We're going to stop as a group in Orlando at Disney, and they're big Disney fans too. And we're going to spend one night at Copper Creek, and I'm going to make a lasagna tomorrow night.
No. All right, so I know I've asked you the past couple weeks to come on the show. You have to come on and do a review of this. We talk about this pretty much nightly about how badly we want to do like the holidays up there and just even get 2 so that we could fit everybody that we want on our invitation list.
Well, the videos look
like a lasagna. I'm a disaster now.
Well, so right now
Mike's gonna be showing up with a 6-pack of Bud Light, knocking on doors until you answer, Joe. Well,
listen, you know
ringing the doorbell.
You know it's bad when, like I said, you know it's bad when like you're making mistakes. I've got like 80 points sitting around. I'm like, where did I go wrong here? I'm like,
you are by far the only person who doesn't have the problem that all of us have.
I don't. It's sad.
It's so bad because you're always like you always have points and you got to use them and they're in holding and this and like Gary's like. It's like he's got 7 credit cards right now. Can I put anything on this one? Yeah,
I'm already 2029.
I got $3 available here. I put $3 on there.
I'll tell you too, Justin, my co-host on our show DDP today, he called me tonight. He's like, "Hey, you looking forward to your cabin tomorrow?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "I got 40 points in holding." He's like, "I canceled my room at Hilton Head. I guess you're supposed to run a half marathon or something there, and something happened where his points are in holding now." He's like, and he's got a March each year. He goes, "Yeah, you and your wife might be finding something to spend a couple days down at Disney because we can't use it." I was like, "Okay, we'll find something." So we've got all kinds of holding issues with points lately in our circle of friends. So, but yeah, whatever you guys, I was going to kind of hit you guys up in our chat, like whatever you want, like video or whatever, I'll call you guys tomorrow. But this is like a last minute thing and it kind of worked out. So we're just going to we're going to burn them up because they were going to go away. So, and the thing is, man, I've called DVC so many times and they've hooked me up. So they keep track of that, dude. So so I'm like, you know what? It's not going to happen. So I'm just going to.
So just curious though, with holding, because I don't even. No, this is a good topic because I don't truly understand holding. So I know how it kicks in. So you canceled within 30 days of the reservation. So how does holding work? You have to book something within the.
You have to use it before because I already was past my banking date for the year.
Gotcha.
So they're just sitting and holding, and you have to use them before the end of the use year. So the same thing
I think you have to book within 60 days, I believe.
I don't know. Okay. I used the holding points like I only booked like last week, and
yeah, that's what I mean. Like you have to book. You can't book outside of.
You can't book outside of your use year. No, that's it. Yeah, it's like you have to use like before your use year starts. So you're kind of screwed if you're in holding because now you have 60 days. Especially if you have a Riviera like me and you can only book at Riviera. Good luck finding something within 2 months at Riviera. So
right. Or if you're not a local and you can't just drive for
like Joe and I have flexible, we could, but
it's bad. I called him when I realized this is a funny thing. I realized this during marathon. It was like during marathon weekend. I didn't know what to do, and I called up my wife. Now, actually, I was in line for Expedition Everest. I was by myself. I was waiting for some friends to show up. I remember this is funny. I remember exactly what it was. I said, "Babe, I messed up." She's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Babe, I really messed up." And we got a lot going on in our lives and stuff like that. And she goes, "What? What?" I said, "I'm like, I checked our DVC account for some reason. I was just bored in line. And I go, we've got like 80 points in holding." I'm like, and we have to use it. And I go, and I checked like the transaction history. I'm like, I thought the 80 points were going to come off for marathon weekend because we stayed from like Wednesday to Tuesday. And it didn't. I'm like, so was it from that week we canceled? Did we ever never book something? She's like, I don't think we ever booked something. And the days just, guys, and I hate this. It just sounds so like elitist, Gary, because Mike and I are down in Florida, but it's like sometimes the days just go by when you're you can drive the property. The weeks just kind of go by. You're flexible. Cancel. I'll go another time, whatever. And I'm just like, oh my God, I never did anything with these. So it just happens sometimes, and it's a good problem to have, I guess. But I know for next year we have, especially with the, our podcast being really involved with the running now, like we're going to be using a lot of our points for. Have a wine and dine weekend and marathon weekend, so they'll probably all be gone. But
that's why I need a third contract.
But now you're hooked on they run Disney weekends, Mike. But yeah, so it's gonna be fun, man. To already watching a few YouTube videos, kind of getting reacquainted with the cabins, and but we're gonna do a thing where our friends are a little bit on.
Tommy Morrow does a great one.
I think okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna try to utilize the space, right? We're only there for one night. So I'm like, listen, I'll make a lasagna, I'll make some garlic bread, a little salad, a little mozzarella, a little tomato in there, a little balsamic. We'll get the big family table there. We'll eat. We're gonna Netflix and chill. We'll like stream it up on the TV. We got the little hot tub there. Watch a little electrical water pageant. I mean, that's it. Just gonna hang out and drink some wine, and everybody goes home the next day. Just check out and kind of go. So,
Gary, what's the best feature that they have at the cabins?
Oh, the doorbell.
Kristen, ring the doorbell. It's got a doorbell.
I love using that one. I don't get to use it too often.
We don't get that one too much.
So I didn't mean to hijack about you guys talking about points, and like I haven't had a chance to tell you guys.
That's breaking news. I love that.
Gonna get my tablet. I'm getting for those of you watching me on YouTube, I got hot flashes going right now.
I'm telling you, Mike's just gonna randomly be up walking around Copper Creek.
I'll be walking around the lake. I'll be in the jacuzzi.
Joe around here?
You got any lasagna left?
America's guest, Mike Hurley. All right, what's the next question, Pards? Let's go.
So, I mean, we could almost segue into the cabins, but that wasn't on my list. We're going to talk resorts.
Okay.
Or kind of around resorts.
Sure.
Crescent Lake or Seven Seas Lagoon? Which do you prefer?
That's tough, too. That's really tough. Now, do you consider Riviera neither, or is that
I don't
close
consider
enough?
it. I don't consider it a Crescent Lake. I do consider it an Epcot resort.
Epcot, but not Crescent Lake. So you're talking Boardwalk Beach Club, or basically the monorail and Boulder Ridge Copper Creek. So you're getting 5.
Yeah, if you want to consider, because if you can consider Riviera, if you're going to consider Wilderness Lodge, I'll give you that.
Man, that's tough.
They're different, man. They're
so different.
It's like oranges and grapefruits, both fruit but different.
Go ahead, Joe. I'll let you take the lead on this one.
So I think that you can enjoy Crescent Lake more. You can actually walk around it. You can have a beer and visit the different resorts around there. You can hang out at the boardwalk. They got the buskers there. You can hit up the Swan and Dolphin, which I am a fan of those 2 hotels, especially being a Marriott guy. Seven Seas Lagoon, you really can't enjoy it much. It's pretty to look at, but since the Poly Tower kind of was installed, that walkway is gone. I mean, yes, you have the walkway to Magic Kingdom, but besides being on the monorail and looking at it, you really can't enjoy it, like besides just the views of it. So I think Crescent Lake is a little more interactive, but I think Seven Seas Lagoon is more pretty, for lack of a better term. It's more beautiful, but for actually experiencing it, I would say Crescent Lake.
Okay, so I took it from a different angle, and maybe I'm not understanding the pure the essence of the question.
It can be. Do you like the resorts?
Oh, so I was going just for the
like
ambiance.
the area better. It all depends.
So if you go ambiance, which I was not thinking, I agree with Joe. I'd rather hang out at Crescent Lake, but just I'm going numbers here, resorts wise. You're 5 versus 3, and I'm going to take Seven Seas Lagoon because you have access to more resorts, and that pushes it over the edge. I'd rather be near Epcot, but I like having the option of the more resorts.
And that is interesting because we bought direct at the Grand Floridian. That's my favorite, but having Riviera is great because when I do 2 or 3 nights at Grand Floridian, I'm kind of done with that whole area. Yeah, and then it's time to get over to my favorite park in my favorite area. Well, so I bounce back and forth like a ping pong ball.
The thing I really don't like about the Magic Kingdom resorts, I've discussed this with you guys on your shows before, and we're all guilty of it, is if you're staying at that property, you're also dealing with all the looky-loos there.
Oh, yeah.
Especially at Christmas time.
It's annoying. The Grand Floridian, I'll tell you, is the most busiest resort. There are more golf carts at that resort It's supposed to be their flagship, their most beautiful resort. It's supposed to be
I
elegant,
got to
peaceful.
incorporate Pete into my soundboard, don't I? We got to get him going.
Listen, we all know that, right? I mean, what he said is true. It's not wrong, and so it's a busy resort area. So
yeah,
I mean, it is because like the Contemporary is not known for their lobby, and how much did we hang out when we went to those meetings? We had breakfast at Steakhouse 71. We met Phil for the DVC meetings, and then you and I hung out for another hour or two and like had coffee or hot chocolate and just walked around, walked outside, watched the monorail for a while. Like you say, like everybody hangs out at these.
Mhm.
Polynesian isn't known for its lobby, and that place is just bustling all the time.
And I heard the new tower is kind of locked down a little bit. Like they've got like you need like your keys to get up in the elevators, and it's very locked down.
Yep.
So
they don't want as many people just
loitering.
Well, I think because they have those beautiful terraces.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that you can watch fireworks, or like Gary and I would just sit out and have coffee or a beer and watch people playing a couple holes at the Palm.
Yeah.
But those terraces are they're stunning. Oh my God, are they beautiful?
And I'm going to bring up that question, Mike, to you about the Palm on your main show, because I want to get your thoughts about what they're doing to the Magnolia when you ran by it during the half marathon. It's just disgusting.
It was pretty depressing.
Oh boy, we'll have to talk about that.
Yep.
All right, we have a disagreement finally on the answer.
Yes, we do.
What's the next question?
Should we talk about food?
Always. I'll never say no to that.
I mean, I don't know about my favorite food is steak. So we're going to talk steakhouses.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Yachtsman or Shula's? Which do you prefer?
I mean, I already know what you guys think. I've listened to your show. I listen to every show you guys do. So
I haven't been to Yachtsman.
It's been a long time for me.
It was on my honeymoon, so that was 14 years ago. And it's still my favorite. I need to give it another shot. I liked it better, like the experience soup to nuts I enjoyed better than Shula's when we went.
Yachtsman is your favorite?
It was my favorite
steakhouse
experience. I'm not saying the steak necessarily the quality, but the service was great. The appetizer I had like beef tartare for the first time, and it was amazing. Everything, just the whole experience. Also being on my honeymoon probably skewed it a little bit that way as well. But I'm going to stick with it for nostalgia reasons. I want to give it another shot because Shula's was a lot more recently, so I need to give Yachtsman another chance.
I'm with you because it's been 5 or 6 years since we've been, and like the service was amazing, the food was great. Now I've watched some vloggers say that it's gone downhill, the food isn't that great, and I also heard the same about Le Cellier, and we were there for the Candlelight Processional dining package, and Le Cellier was actually really good, and I just hear that place gets beat down all the time. I'm
surprised. I thought, Mike, you'd be a Shula's guy through and through. I mean, I've listened to the shows.
I am. If it was up to me, I am a Shula's. Shula's is it's like your first child. It's just, I love that place.
Well, Shula's is the correct answer.
Yeah. I'm sure Shula's from a technical standpoint is better. I have the rose-colored glasses with Yachtsman. I would like to do like a boardwalk or a beach club stay, maybe just my wife and I, and do like Shula's one night and Yachtsman a night or two later, and really compare and contrast some notes.
Let's get the meat.
Problem is, there's so many good options. It's hard to do steakhouses like that when you have Rosa and Il Molino, places I've been dying to try in that same resort that I haven't gotten to yet.
So I've been dying to talk about, or I've been telling people about the Mexican place. Was it the one you guys were talking about in one of your episodes?
Yeah, Rose. Yeah,
Rose Mexicana. Yeah. That's Angry New Phil Jr.'s like.
That's on my list.
He's got like the frequent flyer card there.
Yeah,
he's been there more than he's gone to Twin Oaks probably.
But going back to the steakhouse, Gary, I think that Yachtsman is the best Disney steakhouse on property. I mean, it's the only one I believe that has the the butcher right there, whatever. It's been probably the same thing 5 or 6 years since I've been there. Jen and my wife, we've never had a bad experience at Yachtsman. The service has always been great. That kind of restaurant, you get the older servers that have been working at Disney for 25 years, and they don't give up those jobs because they're making bank and they're working in a great place. You know what I'm saying?
So you're at a good restaurant when they wear the tablecloth like below, like on their pants.
Yes.
Like when they come showing up and they have that white cloth that's covering their black
I know what you're
pants, you like, yep, this is going to be a good place. This is going to be good.
Like I said, I haven't been to Yachtsman in a while, but the last meals that we had there were great. But I mean, Shula's, and it's a chain, right? It's a smaller chain, but the fact that you get to choose your weapon, I've never had a bad meal. I've had some bad steaks at Topolino's before. Le Cellier has been okay, but Le Cellier, my biggest gripe with them is they're always like 40 minutes behind. So I just get frustrated when, they bust your chops when you're 10 minutes late, but they're running 40 minutes behind. And I think I said probably the last 2 or 3 times we've eaten at Le Cellier, 30, 40 minutes. It's all the time it's late. So we actually stop. We'll get the cheddar cheese soup during like food and wine.
Yeah, because it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Yeah, but it's so good.
It's so good, but it's to me, I'm just like, you guys are killing me. You're always late, and I feel like it's always the end of the night. I'm being rushed out of there. Yeah. But I don't think the steaks aren't bad. I've never had a bad experience at Shula's. I love it. I mean,
I agree.
So good. I mean, all of those restaurants in the Swan and Dolphin, I talk about them all the time. They just, I cannot give them enough praise. They don't, because they're not on my Disney experience. A lot of them, they don't get a lot of the attention.
Got to go to Open Table to get them. You're exactly right. Like they arguably could have the best steakhouse on property, the best Italian on property, the best Mexican on property, and the best, the best seafood on property, and the best Asian on property. I mean, it's just.
And I'll say this too. This is a bonus. This is the cherry on top. Their lobby bars are really good.
It's fantastic.
But my old saying, my wife, every time I go to a hotel or resort, my wife laughs because every time I see like a lobby bar, my old saying is, show me a good lobby bar and I'll show you a good time. I don't need to be at a club. Just show me a good lobby bar where there's people, you can interact, talk. The Swan and Dolphin, it's mostly the Dolphin has a really good one. Has a great lobby bar.
Yeah. Yep. You're right.
I'm sure Shula's is better, top to bottom. Although I do like dry aged better than wet aged, and I'm pretty sure Shula's wet ages and Yachtsman dry ages.
Is Shula's wet? Is Shula's wet age?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm with you. I like dry age better too.
But anyway, moving forward.
Unless
you have more food questions, I'm ready for that.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the resorts.
Yes.
Polynesian or Wilderness Lodge? I'm sorry. No.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
No,
Let's time out. Celtic. No, they all began with C's or B's. Bay Lake Tower or Boulder Ridge?
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Is it?
It's Boulder Ridge all the time. That whole Wilderness Lodge complex is awesome. I'm going to be there tomorrow. I can't wait. It's so hard to get a room over there. That's how good it is. You drive through those gates at Wilderness Lodge, you are literally, it's probably one of the only resorts you are transformed into that space. That's why I actually get a little bit territorial with them building that new Lakeside Lodge. Like I almost feel like it's encroaching on it because it's so perfect over there. I mean, I just love that area. Bay Lake Tower is, as much as I love the contemporary, nobody likes it. Like it's good for theme park views and access to the Magic Kingdom, but the theming is just kind of blah. Like it's just a.
Would you say though the three of us are resort aficionados? We love the resorts.
Love them.
So would you say the three of us are probably going to go Boulder Ridge, but your typical Disney
cheerleader
fan is going to go cheerleader, eating the Mickey Mouse bars, is going to go contemporary? Is it going to go 90%, 10% for those who aren't big time resort fans like the three of us?
It's hard to fight a view of Space Mountain and Cinderella's Castle right out your window. Where you could,
especially when I stayed at Boulder Ridge, I had the view of the dumpster and the laundry carts.
Yeah.
However, I loved Boulder Ridge, their separate lobby.
It's so nice. We hung out there because in September we went to the parks.
Yeah.
And we went over and had food over at Geyser Point. And then we just walked around. We sat in the lobby, and I'm sitting in that one of those big, poofy, comfortable chairs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I could sit here all afternoon. Like, we were done with the parks. We were just going to head back to the Grand Floridian, maybe take a nap, go into pool for a little while. But and there's nobody in that lobby. It's
empty.
so nice, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Boulder Ridge. The only thing for Bay Lake is I really like the new refurb, what they did with the new rooms. I think it looks great. The pools are better at the Contemporary, I think, for the kids, like the slides and stuff. It's more like for us, but I'm thinking with my daughters, they are dying to stay at the Contemporary. They talk about it all the time. That's like the number one on their hit list. They want to go there. So it's closer for me for that reason, but if it's just me, if you tell me I could stay like 3 nights by myself, I'm picking Boulder Ridge all day. The theming's more up my alley. I love Wilderness Lodge, like you said. Geyser Point, it's probably maybe the best bar on property. Territory Lounge is a great bar.
You ever had the mushroom bisque over there?
I had a long time ago, when Artist Point was still Artist Point. But they have that at the new Artist Point. They have the mushroom soup.
Yeah.
They're
very mushroom heavy at Artist Point.
Yeah.
Since I don't like it. That's why I know that.
So. You're not a mushroom guy?
No.
Really?
I don't know what kind of Italian I am.
No, that's not
no mushrooms, no seafood, man. I don't know what kind of Italian I am, but
that's tough.
The hell do you do on Christmas Eve?
Grandma used to make separate sauce for me. So.
Oh, wow.
I think the food and bev is better at Bay Lake if you
definitely.
So that's nice. Like you said, walking access to Magic Kingdom is nice right on the monorail, but I'm still going Boulder Ridge for sure.
That's fair. That's all I have.
That's it? No more? Okay, I didn't know if you had more resort matchups. We got to save them for the next show, right?
We got to save them for the next show. Yeah, I mean, we could do a 7-hour show right now.
That's true.
And with the different combinations, we could probably do 7,000 of these, right?
That's true. Yeah. We'll have to do some math, see how many potential DVC resort matchups there are.
Yeah,
all-star music or all-star movies.
Yeah.
You could even do like a West Coast one. Bring in the restaurants out west.
Yes.
The hotels out there. Everything.
We've got a lot of show ideas, don't we?
Mm-hmm. All right.
I'll bring us home in a second. Joe, you want to talk about your podcast and where people can find you guys?
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. I'm over at DDP today. It's DDP stands for Disney Dads Podcast. I also do a spin-off show over there, which is called Split Stays, which I'm supposed to have Mike and Gary on one of these days when we're not running around crazy to talk about your stay at Riviera, Mike. And we'll probably talk about my stay at the cabin tomorrow night because that's, an unexpected show idea, whatever. We always turn something into content, right? But,
absolutely.
Yep. But DDP today, we're over there. We've got a bunch of different shows. We have a Run Disney show with our Sorcerers running team. We actually have a brand new show coming out with our DDP Moms panel. We're going to have, instead of just a bunch of guys talking Disney, we have some of the moms that are affiliated with our group that we're going to have different topics from a female point of view and from a mom's point of view. So that's kind of starting up. We got the first show we'll be recording this week with the ladies over there. And we got, like I said, we got a DDP News with Kat. We do a news show every couple of weeks, and Universal Unleashed as well. We have a Universal show as well.
We got a whole network over there.
Yeah, we got we got a whole bunch of different shows on our feed, and we have a good time doing it. And check us out over there, DDP today, on Facebook as well. So come over and join us. And
I'll put all those links as I did the
all
last
those links,
all the information in our show notes. So be sure to go over and check out their podcast as well. Anyways, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at DVC Addicts. Email the show info@addictedtodvc.com and join our Facebook group, DVC Addicts. For my cousin and co-host Gary in Rhode Island and Saratoga Joe in Florida, I'm Mike, also in Florida. Thanks for listening. We'll talk again next week.
Thank you for listening to the Addicted to DVC podcast with Mike and Gary. We want to hear from you. Email us at info@addictedtodvc.com and follow us on all socials at DVC Addicts. We appreciate you being a part of our DVC community, and we'll see you again on our next episode. Thanks again for listening, and welcome home.